game mayhem. Chris Collins and HenricK, the Rat bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal brawl. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. Better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get away. The ultimate. Dream over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news. Industry that can't escape, reviewing video games. No need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scams, they expose it all, making sure no one jams. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quits. Rage quits. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quits. Rage quits. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back and nothing else to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK the Wreck?
You know what time it is. It's time to rage.
That's right. We got so much to discuss during this jam-packed episode. But before we even begin, we always like to start off the show with a bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Video games are a beautiful art form that mirrors life, except, you know, with way more respawns and significantly fewer consequences for stealing cars. And most people wouldn't dream of committing half the diabolical acts that they pull off in video games, but every now and then a moment pops up that reminds us maybe, just maybe, being a decent human outside of games isn't such a bad idea. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and take a look.
Hey just farted in my face. I was trying to pickpocket him. Okay, I'm getting off this game. Okay, he did. Okay.
He started to question his life choices.
You know, you never know when it's going to backfire. Literally. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments, because the first one says, the greatest self-defense. It were cut. So who would have thought that if you wanted to stop anybody from pickpocketing you, it's not getting pockets in your shorts or pants with zips or buttons. Maybe just give them a good, just a wet one.
Yep. Just go take a trip to Taco Bell, get some of that order you got from there at Taco Bell, and scarf that down. You'll be good.
Do you get a Baja Blast with it as well? You know, to just kind of add a little bit more flavor.
Yeah, you got it. When you go to Taco Bell, you got to.
Yeah, and some hot sauce. Need some hot sauce in the pocket.
Yep.
The next one we got here is Unc about to have pink eye after that. Oh, so it works better than pepper spray.
Yeah, that's emotional damage on top of physical.
Yeah, actually, those, like pepper spray, you can wash it out with some water, maybe milk, drowning your face into it. But yeah, pink eye, man, that could scar you. You got to walk around with that. Shame.
Yep,
Shame on
exactly.
you. And then that boy tooted to avoid being looted. So, you know, maybe there are some benefits for letting out a quick fart every once in a while. Maybe that can keep
It's natural, you know?
Yeah, it might keep your girl or, you know, your significant other from taking the controller from you when you want to play games. Just give them a little and then you might be all right. But hey, you know, Dark Souls, I'm amazed. You know, everybody, you know, as much as I like to clown on remasters and remakes a lot of the time, but it is great, HenricK, right, to revisit some of the great past games. And, you know, Dark Souls is special because it doesn't just test your skills. It's a test your patience, your sanity, and your willingness to keep going after being absolutely demolished for the 50th time. Why do we continue to keep putting ourselves through this pain? I sometimes never know the clues. But every now and then, the game throws you a bone, like this gamer who couldn't have been luckier if they tried. I mean, like, seriously, like, they might as well have found a bonfire and won the lottery at the same time. You only know what I'm talking about if you play Dark Souls. But let's go ahead and check out this viral clip.
Proceeds to die like 10 seconds later, because that's just how that game goes.
I know. Did you notice the other guy? He's like, why? How did you do that? like right when he walks up. Well, let's go ahead and dive right on in. Like, the first comment says, would have been the nastiest message position. My heart would have been racing so freaking fast. I don't even know if I could even comprehend even thinking where the button is even at to place a message, right?
And that would have been a real cool message to see, though. It's just like, how did it get there? What's going on?
Hey, well, at least he's able to clip the footage. Well, let's go into the next one. A real Souls fan would have left the message. All right, we get it, man. I mean, the Dark Souls community is like the worst. I mean, give the guy a break.
Chris, you did not see clearly all the messages and all of the Elden Ring messages being like Fortnite. Because it's just a joke. You know, you leave a bad message or you say like treasure ahead. And there's nothing there, actually.
Just to troll somebody. And then even Dark Souls was like, all right, I'll let you have this one. So, I mean, it's so thoughtful, you know, from software games.
Just this one time.
Yeah, just this one time. But, yeah, you ever notice with frag grenades, semtex, and shock grenades, yeah, sure, they get the job done when you're playing your multiplayer games. But kill cams exist purely to remind you that sometimes you're not just losing, you're getting cooked. And case in point, this Call of Duty Black Ops 6 player who took a pizza cutter to new heights only to have it ricochet back from outside the map like a cursed deep dish. I mean, talk about some extra cheesy way to go. If you haven't seen this, man, this is humiliating.
You're going down. This shit's far from over.
Oh, that was nice. Oh, nice. You better record that, bro. You better take. You better keep.
That's exactly like the old school clips of people like throwing a tomahawk or a
Yes.
knife across the map and then killing someone right as they get out of their spawn.
Yeah, the 360 scope. I mean, literally leaving the
Yep.
map and then coming back in. I think I would have instantly rage quit and just shut up the game and just jumped into like Lego Fortnite or something. Keep it cool. Keep it
Something
casual.
to
I couldn't handle that.
Let off the steam, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like I just like those kind of moments just make it so I don't want to return to Call of Duty. But then again, it is super popular. But then yeah, I mean, Call of Duty has lost its way. But you know, dude, I was playing Modern Warfare 4 on my PS5 over the weekend. Dude, if you think this is bad, go back. I mean, there's some of these dudes that are like vets out there. You know,
Yeah.
they've been through the trenches, and I mean, they're just kicking my ass 24/7. I'm like, where are the casual games at, HenricK?
And there's supposedly skill-based matchmaking in that game, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe. But, well, you know what the problem is? Maybe I was good 10 or 15 years ago. And because, you know, your ranking still stays with you. But when you leave for an extended period of time and then they match you back with those same people, it's like, really?
Yeah.
We're doing this now?
Or you get a really good game and all of a sudden you're put in the unemployment lobby.
Oh, okay, you went there, HenricK. And then what the F is this death animation? I'm playing Call of Duty or effing Splatoon. Yeah, it could be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know, well, actually, I don't even want to view it that way, HenricK, because then again, I might be the older lad that's getting my butt kicked from a young girl who's kicking my tush in Call of Duty. So let's not view it like Splatoon. Let's view it like adults kicking each other's butts. And last, people are complaining about Call of Duty being dead when it's one of the most popular games alive right now. Ironic. And yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people are getting very excited, HenricK, that in Warzone, in matter of fact, Verdansk is coming. Are you going to be returning in the first week of April, or are you just kind of like, you know, 3 years?
I don't have like a inkling of even a thought to try it out on my initial thoughts at least.
I think
maybe they might change. Who knows?
No. You're dooming the fact that you got to download like 150 gigabytes.
Yeah,
just
that
to
is
be
part
able
of
to
it.
play one game mode. That's the biggest
That is
thing. I
really
feel like
part of it.
Yeah, Call of Duty's got to figure that out, and I feel like, you know, the player base could come back. A lot of times now with these memory sizes getting crunched, it's hard to return. But hey, we want to take a moment for all the gamers out there that are tuning in live, the Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. If you haven't followed us on YouTube, this is my QR code. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
Yeah, and you see that QR code right there. Go ahead and give that one a scan because that goes to my YouTube channel.
That's
there's
right.
Tons of awesome content across different genres. So it's just waiting for you to be watched. And go leave a comment.
That's
I want
right.
to read some comments, guys.
Yeah, even during today's show, you guys can engage with us wherever you're tuning in, whether it's YouTube, Meta, or Twitch, and you might as well hit that follow button because, you know, the more you guys follow, the more you're going to be in the known when we are on air. So hold on to your controllers because, HenricK, is it time to rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. It's time to talk about a game. So let's get started with the show by talking about a game in pause or repeat.
Hey, let's get it.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Order 13. Order 13 is an indie game that received a little bit of attention around its release on March 10th. However, it has mostly flown under the radar despite getting a very positive review rating on Steam. So with that being said, let's dive into what makes it good or bad, starting first with the gameplay. The gameplay of Order 13 has one simple gameplay loop. You start the day in your room, print orders, go out into the warehouse and grab the orders, and then come back to pack and ship the orders, rinse and repeat until quota is hit for the day. You are also accompanied by your cat, who can be customized, and when you're not in your room, the cat's happiness drops. Once your cat's happiness drops to 0, you get a game over. This means you have a limited time outside of the room and must be efficient in grabbing your orders. There is one obstacle, however, and that is that there is something else roaming the warehouse other than you. If you are seen by the monster, you must run and hide, otherwise you're gonna die. At the start of each day, you are also able to purchase upgrades to your tools, open up new areas to grab packages, or increase your cat's overall happiness meter. But why are you there, and why is there even a monster in the first place? To go over the story, we must first understand that much is left to interpretation. This is because the game doesn't outright give you the answers. But what we do know is that you are employed by the shipping company, the Jolly Box Company, and are living in the warehouse with your cat, and you hate your job. However, there is definitely more at play to the story, especially the question of why there is a monster in the first place. But now the question still stands. Pause.
So we've got so many different simulation games out there nowadays. You know, you got Power Wash Simulator, Trucking Simulator, Farming Simulator, and now we've got Amazon Graveyard Shift Simulation. Isn't that what this is? You know?
Yeah,
right?
I
No?
mean,
oh,
no.
my bad.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, have you ever dreamed of working in a dark, creepy warehouse for questionable wages while trying to avoid horrifying creatures? Well, Order 13 throws you into exactly that experience, except with slightly more job security than certain real-world companies named after a rainforest, like HenricK is suggesting.
Yeah.
He just likes to call them out by a name. But at first, it's just another day at the office, right, HenricK? You grab your orders, you scan barcodes, and try not to wonder why you're the only person left in the building. But soon, you start to notice things like a shuffle in the distance, like a grotesque figure scuttling across the floor, maybe a deep, miserable banshee sound that reminds you of a death rattle. And before you know it, the creature starts creeping through the aisles, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you feel like this job has way more hazards than HR ever mentioned.
No, yeah, I mean, it gets really weird because it seems so innocuous at first, like you're saying, and then you're just seeing these like body parts on the floor and you're like, wait a minute, something's up here and I don't really like where this is going. But when it comes to the gameplay, that really is all it is. Unfortunately, it's just you go pick up the packages, you go find your way back to the room, you ship it, and then you do that over and over again until the day is over. And it kind of does get a little stale. The good thing about that, though, is the game is not very long. It's about like 2.5 to 3 hours long. So by the time that the game is ending is about the time that you're like, okay, I'm about done with this gameplay now. But was that how you felt about the gameplay, Chris?
Well, I felt for like an indie simulator kind of style game. I thought the gameplay was actually surprisingly engaging for like a warehouse simulator until you realize you don't even have a box cutter for self-defense. I mean, like, seriously? I'm out here dodging monsters with nothing but a scanner and a flashlight. At least let me throw some packing peanuts at them, HenricK. I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's crazy.
Well, your only option is to go hide. And, there's only so many spots you can go hide, but I did find that I was like kind of longing for some sort of weapon system,
some kind of weapon
back,
There's definitely a lot of moments in this
you feel so
game,
defenseless,
right? And I mean, even speaking of packing, right? Like the overall theme to this horror game, the packaging mini games, they are a fun little addition. Even if I really wish I wasn't forced to use massive boxes for everything. I mean, I'm over here like sending a single USB cable in a crate like it's a national treasure, right, HenricK? And then all of a sudden you're slapping a sticker. I just feel like they had a lot of room to be able to do a lot of creative things. Like maybe they could have let me slap a sticker on a padded envelope and call it a day. Or at least, I think the one benefit to this game, which I thought was really, really cool, is that you get to hop on the office computer to buy some much needed upgrades, like expanding your ticket rack to juggle more orders or picking up backpack to carry on extra items, because nothing says or screams efficiency like quietly hoarding all the office supplies while speedrunning capitalism just to try to meet your daily quota, right, HenricK?
Yeah.
But then, I think what would have been kind of a cool addition to this, because I thought the ticket rack and the backpack thing was a great idea for this like warehouse simulator, but I was begging for something more. I kept thinking about Fallout, and I felt like this would have been perfect if they utilized the Fallout weight scale system, because then that would have maybe made the horror aspect a little bit more challenging in a sense. Like if you added some strategy to it, like for example, HenricK, like what if you were to wanted to load up lightweight orders to move faster or take fewer bulkier items to maximize my trip, and then while we're at it, you can let me pick how I want to ship it, right? You can get box sizes, you can get padded envelopes, or even those like festive holiday gift bags that look suspiciously like trash bags. You know what I mean? During the holidays for Amazon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing's, nothing's more sweeter than sending grandma's hand knitted sweater in a sack that screams curbside pickup. Right, HenricK?
Yeah, no, I did kind of feel that way as well, at least when it comes to the packing side of things, where yeah, it does feel a little silly to be packing everything in the same size box. And I would have actually been okay if they had implemented some sort of mechanic where when you print the order, it starts to maybe at like the 3 or 4 day mark, you start to get specific packaging orders as well, where you need to
Yeah.
pack something a specific way. And if you don't, you're going to get docked points or money, I guess. Things like that. And yeah, it feels like they definitely could have done that, but at the same time, I know that probably wasn't the point. The point probably wasn't to make the game harder than it is, because it's just trying to deliver that horror atmosphere as well as leave this sort of mystery in the air of like, why are you there? What's going on? Why are there monsters?
Yeah.
And what does this company actually do? And
But why in the last couple of years, why in every horror psychological game, you always have a cat as your companion? Like it seems like that's a common thing. My number one thought was Stray. Like the minute I started playing, I'm like, oh, that's the cat from Stray. I mean, they're always become the true emotional anchor. And you know, a lot of the times it's
I mean,
there
I
to
named
literally
mine
determine your
after
survival.
my real life cat because why
Oh,
not,
did you know?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, you definitely don't want to neglect your furry friend. If they wander out, let's just say it's not a happy ending. And you're definitely going to need to upgrade their space. You need to keep them entertained. And that's probably, arguably, I would say, the more stressful part than avoiding the monsters, because there's no way I would be letting that cat meet a terrible fate on my watch, HenricK.
No, I would not, and I never did.
Yes.
So I maybe got a little close sometimes on the timer there, but I was like, I know I can make it back. So we're good.
But as creepy as Order 13 is, I gotta say though, HenricK, it could have used some co-op, I thought. I mean, because honestly, if I'm gonna go through a horror warehouse shift, I'd rather drag my friends down with me, and maybe a few extra creature varieties wouldn't have hurt either. I mean, after a while, it's just kind of like, oh, it's you again, and you lose that horror aspect. So does Order 13 deserve a repeat? Not for me, but the atmosphere is on point, but without co-op or more gameplay variety, it's a pause. And sorry, HenricK, excuse me, I gotta go and hug my dog, my real life dog, okay? And just be grateful that I'm not working the late night shift. But what's your verdict, HenricK?
Yeah, this is unfortunately a pause for me as well, but as a standalone story or game rather, to just pick up and have a 3-hour experience one time through, it's actually not that bad. I'd say it's something to maybe pick up on a sale, when it's maybe only a couple dollars, because that couple dollars stretches out to 3 hours about. So you're getting a pretty good deal for a pretty nice, chilling, atmospheric experience, really. And I enjoyed it. I just don't really feel like there's a need for me to replay it.
Yeah, and I feel like, this is a really, really cool game. You got to always support indie gaming. But we want to hear from you, the gamers. Is this a pause to play something else or a repeat for endless fun? You let us know What's good? But we got so much more left here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So, HenricK the Wreck, are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Oh yeah, we got plenty to talk about this show. So why don't we just get started, right? I'm so
Come on
excited
now,
for
Henry. Let's get
some
it
of these
going, baby.
topics.
What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. So last week on Rage Quit, we talked about the mysterious tipster who leaked an internal Sony video to The Verge, revealing their attempt to give Alloy an AI-powered personality. Plot twist, it barely had time to say, "Hey there, traveler," before YouTube hit it with a copyright claim so fast you'd think it triggered a boss fight. And now, Aloy's original actor, Ashley Burch, which we said last week, we weren't really sure if she even knew about it. Come to find out, she had no freaking clue. And Guerrilla Games, and Guerrilla Games, the creators of Horizon Forbidden West, assured her this wasn't an active project, but she's still side-eyeing the future of the industry like it just tried to sell her on a live service subscription. So if you haven't heard what she had to say on TikTok.
Get it right, Chris.
Get it right, man. I know it's like Twitter, X, whatever. You knew what I was trying to say.
You got to keep all those in mind.
Well, let's go ahead and take a listen.
I wanted to talk about AI Aloy. I saw the tech demo earlier this week. Guerrilla reached out to me to let me know that the demo didn't reflect anything that was actively in development. They didn't use any of my performance for the demo, so none of my facial or voice data. SAG-AFTRA is on strike against video games because of AI, because this technology exists, because we know that game companies want to use it. We're asking for protections. Currently what we're fighting for is that you have to get our consent before you make an AI version of us in any form. You have to compensate us fairly, and you have to tell us how you're using this AI doubled. I just imagine a video like this coming out that does have someone's performance attached to it, that does have someone's voice or face or movement. And the possibility that if we lose this fight, that person would have no recourse. That possibility, it makes me so sad. It hurts my heart. I love this industry and this art form so much. I believe that we deserve to be protected. So I'm gonna keep fighting. And
Isn't that so wild that she just didn't even know? They just did this without telling her. And I'm sure so many people were waiting for her to speak out about it.
Oh, absolutely. We called her out. We were like, what the hell, Ashley? Like, did you know about this? And if you did, like, where's your stance on this whole AI thing? But apparently that's not Ashley's voice. So how does it sound exactly like her? Is it witchcraft? Is it a highly trained parrot? Is it a long-lost twin? Or is it just AI doing what AI does best? Making things weird. So with AI sinking its teeth deeper into game development, like a microtransaction, you can't avoid. Gamers had plenty to say about this latest twist with the following. So let's go ahead and dive into the comments. So the first one that we got here is, they made a game about AI destroying humanity, but don't see the irony in this.
That exactly, yes.
I know, but even last week I said, if you're going to test an AI model on any of the Sony characters, it would be Alloy. But, wow. Yeah, I know.
The jokes write themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes back around. And then I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing. Not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundries and dishes. Yeah, I know, that's a good point. I mean, it's not so I can have enough time to be able to do chores.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to do the monotonous things you don't want to do, but then leave the fun stuff for you to do.
Right, yeah. I mean, AI can be a very good benefit for a lot of creative endeavors, but when you're being sneaky and kind of snaky in a sense, kind of like how Sony's been doing this, and on top of it, Guerrilla Games too, especially not informing the person that brought that character to life. Yeah, that is definitely a bit scummy, especially considering how SAG is in strike right now. But let's go into this comment. Let's not be cute. They want AI to eliminate actors because it's cheaper. They don't care if it's worse. It's cheap, and that's all that matters. I think that's a very fair statement. I definitely hear from my father, who has said this multiple times to me in the past, when we're just watching TV, whether it's, watching the Players' Cup over the weekend, and then you see an ad for a children's film, and you're like, why the hell does it gotta have this AAA actor being the voice of a skunk? Why does it have to be, you know what I mean? And the people, they get so upset why these budgets become so large for these animation films, but then it's like, yeah, they put the name there, like a Will Smith or whoever, Steve Carell, to try to draw you into the movies. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, the minute you start offering people that you're not familiar with, wouldn't it open up the door for other studios to start to get creative and use AI voices? Oh, wait, matter of fact, that's already started, Henrik. You hear the news with the Electric State with Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt? And, the Russo's response saying that...
No, I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about this? How they have been speaking on voice modulation that's used in a $300 million film for Netflix? And how they responded, Henrik, was, well, if your 10-year-old daughter can jump on TikTok and use the same tools that we can, why is it a problem?
Okay. You have a huge budget.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's saying it because it's accessible for everybody. Why is it a problem when I use it? And I think that's kind of, I think there's got to be kind of some transparency. And I understand where Ashley's coming from, where she goes, how do I totally know your words are true? You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's definitely like hair pulling. And then you get comments like this. I was unaware of this strike. I'm glad you're striking, and thank you for sharing this. How can we in the general public support you and other actors striking? And so Ashley, the creator, the motion capture artist, and voiceover performer for this iconic character, responds by saying, please get informed. You can visit Game Performances Matters on TikTok or Insta and spread the word and educate yourself and others. And HenricK, the more I talk to even some friends or even when I'm at my side gigs doing work, I'm always so amazed to this day that people still don't know that SAG's on strike.
Yeah. Because no one's talking about it, or at least the mainstream media is not talking about it because they've moved on to the next big story, and it's not a big story anymore, so people don't know.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, especially when you think of games like the finals, who have utilized AI voices, and it's not going away anytime soon. Also, we get comments like this. Sony are in for a shock if they think we'll buy games with AI voiced characters. The people buying their exclusives aren't the same that only buy Call of Duty and 2K every year. See, I don't know if I agree with that comment. I feel like if the game's really, really good, you're going to play it either way. You know what I mean? And I think that's where voiceover artists are kind of freaking out. And that's why you need to be able to protect yourselves, because if the gameplay is good, you're going to play it. So I want to be paid rightfully so, not like what we covered last week where you get someone that's coming in thinking that they're going to replace the AI placeholders, and then come to find out they go, hey, we wanted to use your voice to develop 4,000 plus lines to create a multitude of characters. And they go, wait, we can make different voices. Why don't you just pay us? That's not what we agreed upon when we first signed. So there's got to be transparency. And yeah, I just don't know whether SAG's going to be the ones to be able to figure it out, because they just seem like they're always shaking hands with every AI tech company before they can even deliver on the promise of protecting their own people in their union.
With bad deals and everything. Yeah.
Oh, horrible deals, HenricK. And then this last comment says, big names at Nintendo have spoken out against AI already, including Miyamoto. They might be the safest big publisher right now as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, there's a little plus there from Nintendo. But, HenricK, so if Ashley had no idea Sony was making her out as an AI clone of her performance, I mean, what's next? Is AI Nathan Drake selling us on timeshares? But seriously, if the person who literally brought Alloy to life through voiceover and motion capture wasn't in the loop, how do you even begin to create protections against AI when the tech is evolving faster than the industry can figure out what to do about it?
Well, this is the exact reason why there hasn't been a deal with SAG-AFTRA yet, because they know that the deal's not going to be up to what they want it to be. And SAG-AFTRA knows that at least they probably know that this is happening behind closed doors, because, once again, this is a leaked thing from Sony. It's not an official thing that they've said. They just said that they were working on this in the background.
Well, they
And someone
obviously had to
leaked
speak
it.
on it, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
that's pretty like
And
that's
I'm sure
amazing
it's other
tech.
companies that are doing this too. It's not just Sony. It's a bunch of other ones that are testing the waters behind closed doors to see what it's like.
Yeah.
You can't do anything yet because there's nothing in place legally for them to do it yet, but they would like to.
Yeah,
And
and I
that's
think
why
like
the SAG-AFTRA deal is not going to go anywhere until there's a agreement on both sides.
yeah, I think the problem with SAG is right now is that they currently offer interim agreements between actors and the employers, which are vetted by the union, and if approved, allow them to perform the role while the strike is ongoing. So if you want to send a message across, you got to shut the whole freaking thing down. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
you
know if
really
anybody understands that. Like in February, Bungie confirmed that some of the dialogue in its newly released Destiny 2 hearsay content is missing.
Heresy, yeah.
Heresy, excuse me. Thank you, Henrik. It's missing due to the strike, right? So if they can stop certain dialogue from showing up into video games, maybe you got to put a complete halt on everything. Just shut the whole system down. Like if you really want to get to the bottom of AI, because I just feel like the problem right now is, Henrik, we're stuck watching AI sprint ahead while the legal system ties its shoelaces. Like it's
and you got a good point, because people won't listen and actually know that it's happening until everything stops.
Yeah, like
That, like,
video
look
game
at every
production.
other look at every single other union that in the past year has gone on strike, like the shipping unions. I think it was the longshoremen.
Yeah.
They went on strike, and literally it got turned over in a day, because we really need them, but they weren't doing anything. And that's what really makes a strike effective, is when you're not feeding into it still. So when they're, making deals on the side here and there, it doesn't work out, because no one's going to know that you're on strike.
Yeah, we got to get a clear understanding of, like, okay, if you're going to make these synthesized voices or facial movements, how did you create it? We need to see some kind of blueprint. Like, where did this voice modulation come from? And it's got to be so perfectly clear and visually on paper, I feel like, to be able to have that kind of comfortability when it comes to the voiceover artist. And, like, again, Guerrilla Games, they demonstrated this technology internally at Sony. And so the technology demos use OpenAI's Whisper for speech to text with both ChatGPT-4 and Llama 3 for conversations and decision making. A lot of this kind of tech is nothing new. I mean, some of the things that I can think about, HenricK, is that Jerry's World, Dallas Cowboy Stadium, they actually have this really creepy screen that you can go up to, and you can speak to Jerry. You can ask him about his life growing up, about his team, about the future. So, like, more and more people want to implement this technology around the world. And so clearly with Jerry Jones' case, he had consent, and they obviously used his voice, but that's why it's a little bit weird in the video game space. The original actor, again, with the voice sounding exactly like her. Yeah, and so there's a lot of questions to be raised, and I don't know, HenricK. Do you have? It doesn't sound like we really have an answer to it, and I feel like that's where we
and we probably won't for quite a while, until SAG-AFTRA comes to some agreement on what to do about things like this. But hey, I mean, if any of our viewers have any ideas, feel free to let us know, because we want to hear from you what you think about the whole thing. And if you have any ideas, maybe you gotta speak up, and maybe you actually will be heard by SAG-AFTRA, and they'll come to some agreement on what to do with this. So
yeah, I mean, we definitely want to hear from you gamers. Do you just shut it down completely, or you're like, no, keep my games, I want new development. I will play any game with AI, it does not bother me. Let us know what's good. But hey, HenricK, I know this is definitely catching a lot of gamers' attentions. Break it down.
Oh yeah, it's catching my attention because I love horror games, and I do really love the Silent Hill games, especially. I'm glad to see them back. And Konami wants you to know that Silent Hill F isn't just scary. It's a full-blown emotional gut punch. And we got a disclaimer from Konami for the game where it says there's themes like gender discrimination, child abuse, bullying, drug-induced hallucinations, and enough graphic violence to make even longtime horror fans, myself included maybe, flinch.
Yeah.
That says something.
Oh,
It's
yeah, big time.
officially the first Silent Hill game to earn an 18 plus rating in Japan. Makes you question what
Yeah, you kind of wonder where they're
What?
going with
Like-
this.
like what's gonna be in this game.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, so the game is set in the 1960s setting of Japan, and it follows a teenager crumbling under the crushing weight of expectations because apparently supernatural horrors weren't enough pressure.
Yeah, right.
So the reveal trailer, well, let's just say she's having a worse school day than anyone who forgot their homework.
Yeah, I
Let's
know.
take a
Now
look.
everything's on the tablet. Everything's on,
Yeah.
Scholastic or whatever they're using
No
nowadays.
excuses that the dog ate your homework.
Right. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out that teaser trailer.
This looks really awesome. I'm just gonna say, off the first reaction I got from this is it really feels like a Silent Hill game, and like Silent Hill's back. All right. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm all in.
Right.
And you know what? Let's see what the gamers have to say about Silent Hill F because it's the first one in 13 years. If you
Yeah,
don't
isn't that
include the
crazy?
remake.
13 years. So maybe
Yep.
remasters are helping funding to bring back iconic franchises that maybe they wouldn't consider to dabble into again. But let's go ahead and start reading this one. I saw a disclaimer from the game's website that basically said to buckle up because shit is about to get real. Not for the faint of heart, basically. And that's what gets people excited. I guess if you place a disclaimer, you're all in. Okay.
Yeah. Like I saw a bunch of people talking about this and they were like, don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible, dude. I mean, you realize there's child violence in it? Jesus. All right. But absolutely love the parallels between the original games being super industrial versus the title being super organic. Wait, it's organic? It just, there's one letter, dude. Okay, but the games set in a western town are slathered in rust, sirens, metal crates, and wire. This game in the east is full of spider lilies, rot, and decay. Yeah, I noticed that different parallel. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I know he's saying he thinks it ties in with the original games. I wasn't quite there. I thought that was actually a bit refreshing to see something new. But hey, I mean, if a Silent Hill fan, you're vibing with it, hey, no one's going to take that away from you, my man or girl. And babe, well, let's go into this next comment. Watching the live stream, I thought it was interesting that they said that they chose to set Silent Hill F in Japan because the series had always had Japanese influence, but that influence had been missing from recent Silent Hill titles. And so they really wanted to bring it back in a big way. Also, the setting is 1960s royal to Japan, so it seems that this place will take place before the events of the first game and Silent Hill 0. And I'm really interested in seeing the other world in this game. The transmission is mostly focused on the fog world, but they did say that the other world in this game will be, quote-unquote, rotting, and we see a short clip of rotting meat in the trailer. Ooh, yeah, that can get kind of spooky right there. And then let's see with this comment. I see nothing wrong with this disclaimer. Companies and people in general need to make sure that they have their bases covered, even though they are saying it's historically accurate with the times. Ton of people will still be offended, I'm sure. Sad, really. Well, of course they're gonna be offended. I mean, did you not see what they were rattling off? I mean, gender discrimination, child abuse, bullying, drugs.
Hey,
who knows if the
warned
kid's
you.
taking drugs, torture?
They're warning what you're getting into. So, if you get offended, that's kind of on you. You knew what you were getting into.
I know, but you don't see disclaimers when it becomes, a black samurai kissing a non-binary. Sorry,
You
we
went
won't.
there.
Oh, wait, sorry, we won't go there. In 2020s, we need to warn people they may be uncomfortable while playing a horror game. I know, isn't that kind of hilarious? We're really
Yeah.
doing this now. I mean, I feel like if I saw Rated M, I think I kind of have an idea what I'm in for. And then last, it seems to me that Japan made the game they wanted to make, and then Konami of America saw it and was like, oh shit, we gotta put a disclaimer on this so that we don't offend a tiny minority of people who have mental illness. What, America is the tiny
The Twitter
minority that's
crowd.
getting offended by it? Wasn't it the people in Japan that were like trying to go after Assassin's Creed Shadows that were all upset that, there were certain landmarks that were being portrayed historically and accurately to some of their iconic buildings, and they're like, oh, it's getting all thrashed apart, and you can use your sword against other people. I don't know. I think the game's called Assassin's Creed. Holy cow. But I mean, HenricK, this stuff is between the disturbing themes and nightmares fuel visuals. It looks like the real horror isn't just in the game, but in the severe lack of sleep we're all about to experience once again. So are we even sure that the F doesn't stand for just fear-induced insomnia?
I mean, it might. We don't know where really the F stands for just yet. And I mean, frankly, I'm intrigued actually to see what it stands for, if they even give us an answer.
Well,
But,
it sounds
really
like
it seems really interesting the direction they're going in. I love the whole like rotting aesthetic they've got going on, and I'm sure
Mhm.
there's some Japanese folklore to add to the chaos as well. So yeah, this is going to be a game that I keep my eyes on for sure.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think, even the ESRP's rating description is even giving us a little bit more detail about this game. They're saying that there's some cutscenes that show, quote unquote, gore and more intense acts of violence, including a character that's getting burned alive. There's going to be a woman being branded with the hot iron, and a
Nice.
character cutting someone's face open. Okay, that
Nice.
sounds like Silent Hill to me. Are you excited to play Silent Hill F? Do you think it's long overdue, or are you just like, man, I'm kind of like sick and tired of constantly recycling the same old jargon? We need something new out there in the world of all things video gaming. Let us know what's good, right?
Yeah, I mean, are you feeling that this is going to be a hit or not? Let us know.
Yeah, and I know Konami didn't share a release date for Silent Hill F, but it will be available on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. So sorry, Nintendo, again. It's just like Nintendo keeps getting left out. I don't
It might
understand.
not be for that crowd, that demographic,
Oh, so we're going there. It's the kid-friendly platform. Oh, sorry, I forgot. But hey, let's go and start to switch the topic of conversation, because Xbox thinks AI can turn you into a gaming pro, because clearly skill issue is now a software problem. Enter Copilot for gaming, Xbox new AI assistant for console, mobile, and maybe PC if it feels like it. So this digital backseat gamer promises to help with everything from choosing your next game to remembering where you left off in your 300-hour RPG backlog, and even allegedly making you better at skill-based games. And so there's no word out yet on whether it'll teach you to parry properly or just give passive-aggressive advice like, HenricK, you might try to dodge, dude. Quit button mashing, dude.
Why won't you dodge?
Why won't you dodge, right? And so while Xbox hasn't officially said if PC players will get Copilot, their Play Anywhere push suggests it's probably on the way. So now let's check out the totally not scripted demo of Xbox put together.
I don't know if this is something people want to be honest, but
What?
they're going in some direction, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think,
We
you
do-
know, just stick to the whole
we do
play
have
anywhere push.
so many things that they're trying to throw into Windows, and I don't know if people really want all of it.
But I do think it's, I got to say, though, HenricK, I mean, remember when we were covering Electronic Arts and how they were super excited for their whole AI push and how that will, you know, be a creative tool for the players to be able to create their own stadiums and lively environment and be able to build their own meta amongst their own little universe space, you know what I mean? And so they put on a scripted demo. Why is nobody on the internet calling out Xbox and Microsoft for just pushing this Copilot for gaming when essentially that's all just a bunch of graphics on screen? None of it's even real at this time, but that did not stop gamers from commenting on Xbox Copilot for gaming with the following. So we have, do we really need AI for this? There are countless great content creators on YouTube and articles that offer much more precise instructions that don't require 10,000 rainforests to be wiped out. You know, this just reminds me of Sony with the PS5 and how they wanted to combat that, HenricK. They were like, yo, they felt like they understood the gamers by, let's make it a little bit more accessible for people to be able to find the clue within our own device, our own console, instead of having to jump on the internet, go on YouTube, and figure out a walkthrough. Do you think this is a good idea, or?
I guess this is a bit of an evolution from the days of looking at the back of your Nintendo cartridge for a Super Nintendo game, and there being a phone line you could call that would give you hints on what to do next.
Stop playing. You were never calling the phone line. Who the hell was ever calling the phone line? Yeah, I was about to say.
It's not a free service. It's a paid service. You think I could afford that?
Yeah, no.
As a kid?
No, not at all. You got to learn the hard way, all right? And then there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear is spotting all the skill issues amongst gamers. And then you also get play faster. Why would anyone want to save time on something you're supposed to be having fun, enjoying? Yeah,
That's a good
that
point.
sounds about right.
Yeah, that is a good point. You know, and honestly, if you're not having fun with the game, even if it takes a bit of time, maybe the game's not for you.
But you know, I gotta say though, HenricK, because I know I was talking to you behind the scenes. I decided to replay Death Stranding, and I finally beat it because I was so excited that the new second one was coming out. But there was that's one of the weirdest games out there where you feel like you can play it for 3 months and then you get in this funk where you're like, okay, I'm over this. I want to play something new. And then you revisit 3 months later and then you push through. I couldn't stand the UI system in that game. I hate the map. I hate everything about it. The first 3 hours playing Death Stranding sucked badly. I was about to say another naughty word. But once you start to really push in, oh, it's excellent. It's a really fun time. And maybe that Copilot for gaming could have been a very useful tool instead of having to jump on YouTube and then not knowing the right title to type in the search bar from my struggle.
Be an emotional support AI and be like, don't worry, you'll get to the good part in about 2 hours.
Yeah. Maybe you need to start heading east. No, right now. Stop walking left. This feels like a good addition. Let's face it. Sometimes games don't tell you how to do something, so it'll be nice just to ask and get the answer. Yeah, you know, I mean, there's always that joke with Skyrim, right? It's like, how many people actually use the cooking feature? Or even in Avowed, people said the same thing. They're like, I never used that feature one time. Yeah, because you don't know how to use it. You know, you're just like, I'd rather get help a different way. Maybe that might be a nice, you know, approach to being able to teach the gamer.
I guess that is a good point, but also, I don't know, just like it loses that organic feeling, you know?
Yeah.
To just get the answers given to you. It's the same thing if you were to go like look up a guide on YouTube. It kind of kills the experience in some respect.
Hey, fair enough. And then you also get, I think Copilot could be beneficial in terms of accessibility, specifically blind accessibility. Something like a turn-based RPG, Persona 3 Reloaded, for example. Maybe it could read the text, tell you which menu option you have selected, and it seems like it could be capable of giving navigation assistance as well. Yeah, you know, I love it. I think that's really cool. I love the idea of bringing more gamers, especially with people with disability, to enjoy the games that we all love. And why not?
That's awesome.
That is
a
really
good
cool.
benefit to this is the accessibility for people.
And I know Microsoft and Xbox are definitely thinking about that community, and they're always constantly thriving
They always
to
do.
better for it.
They have that awesome controller that has such
Yes.
modularity for accessibility of people who have disabilities, and there isn't really a controller that beats that in that respect just yet.
Yeah, so true, man. And then you also get Jarvis spawn camp this guy until he rage quits. That would be funny. It's not going to actually play for you, but oh my gosh, we could get there. But, HenricK, as you see, I guess, let me get this straight. Xbox AI Assistant is here to help us get better at games, or, it starts to make me think about, oh yeah, that yellow paint debate.
Oh, that whole debate.
Doesn't it feel like that? It's like, where we need to go, like we're all lost tourists in an open world map. At what point does help turn into AI just playing the game for us? And are we looking at a future where your controller is just your fancy prop while Copilot racks up the achievements on your behalf? I mean, isn't that what we were all mad about Elon Musk about a month ago? Multiple people playing on the same account. Now you're going to get multiple AI models helping your multiplayer status. Maybe it's not just for single player game. It could help you achieve in that, in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of the game in a way, because it's like I was saying, it's the same concept as going and looking up a guide. Yeah, I think we're all pretty guilty of at one point or another looking up a guide on how to do something. I mean,
yeah,
good
but
luck
like,
getting to
okay,
a Dark
when's
Souls
the
game
last
without a
time you've
guide?
actually picked up a manual book or an actual, like, I hate to even say that too, but even like a book. I mean, all the time we're like, Siri, hey, could you tell me, how
But I
old
mean,
is
like,
Harrison
my
Ford?
point is, isn't the fun of the game figuring it out yourself?
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
if you're sitting at a puzzle in a Legend of Zelda game and you don't really know what to do, but you sit there and you try and figure it out, and you might get frustrated, but then when you figure it out, it's like, oh, I get it now. And that whole experience of seeing the puzzle to solving it, that's the gameplay. That's the fun part.
And I
If
guess
you just get given the answer, you kind of miss out on that,
And I guess if you're really, really struggling, just become a Twitch streamer and just have your chat tell you how to play the game. There's
Chat,
the human
what do I
experience
do
that we
here?
all wanted. Yeah, right? Jarvis, chat. Are you with me, chat? But yeah, I mean, it's going to get really, really interesting where Microsoft goes. I know some of the expansions of existing features are being implemented, like adding the save file recap as you download games to your Xbox from your phone, or let's say suggesting new titles to play next. That's like kind of really nothing new, but Copilot can give Minecraft game tips. That's what they're claiming. It can help you retrace your steps to find ores you missed in your peripheral vision when cheats are enabled in game. So like you can literally let the AI retrace your steps. And as you can see here, there's a lot of little handy dandy tools. You don't have to just use your console. You can go directly to your phone if you feel like there's too many pop-ups taking over your screen as you're trying to
cluster.
Yeah, like I can't stand all that. And so, yeah, I mean, you're going to get a lot more people pushing for these kind of incentives. As you can see, this is Age of the Empire 2. And so what's the best way to take out, whatever the hell it's saying, the beast? So, yeah, I mean, some of these tools might be kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to be gravitating for everybody. I say, why not? Try it. It doesn't hurt. But then again, some people would like to see Microsoft focus on other things like delivering some of their, like I've been hearing from the Xbox community for quite a while now. They're getting excited that there's certain Xbox 360 games that might be coming back to some of the newer consoles. And so they're like, wait, if, the Steam OS is starting to work out how to get, involved on more platforms, and Xbox is trying to do that same practice as well, like Valve's trying to do, can I bring back some of those old games to be able to play on newer consoles or play on the go on a TV device? Who knows? You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. And, yeah, I mean, I think the future is very, very exciting over there with Microsoft. But, again, are you vibing with Copilot for gaming? You feel like it's something that's much needed in the gaming world? And funny enough,
Not needed. Not
needed. Oh, well, I got to say, though, HenricK, this is quite the transition, because this seems to parlay very, very well with our next, feature that we got coming up right now.
Oh yeah, because we do have another Reddit showdown, and this one is a real gem. A gamer just realized they've hit the quote back in my day
Monday. I know, right?
phase of life.
When I was a
where-
wee lad.
yeah, reminiscing of the good old days.
Oh,
But they have
boy.
the question: since when do video games have a give up button? Buddy, that's not a button. That's just life sneaking into your gaming experience.
Damn, Henrik. Okay.
So let's see what gamers have to say with the following comments.
Yeah.
I know
let's-
that they're roasting this
Oh
guy.
my gosh. Yes. Let's go into the first one right here. How the F is it 36-0 after the first quarter? It's 4-minute quarters too. This is Madden 2025. The opponent would literally be losing by less if they just knelt every play. It's so funny because I felt like I was pretty darn good at Madden 24, and then I just recently got Madden 25, and then they changed the whole kicking situation. Oh my gosh, Henrik. Talk about rage quitting. Unbelievable. When you start getting your blood pressure going up and you're starting to get hot and you're getting pissed off over a video game, it is time to hit the surrender and give up button. It's an amazing tool. I don't care what anybody has to say. And then you get comments like this. Not a give up option, but the first time I remember a prompt that says, quote, "You seem to be having trouble here. Do you want to lower the difficulty?" End quote, was in the original God of War from 2005 and Devil May Cry 3 for me in a follow-up comment. How did you feel when that happens?
You know what? It's a realization that you've got a skill issue and you got to get better at the game.
I can't stand it, Henry. I can't stand that feature. It's like, show that to me every 30 deaths, not every 5 deaths. Let me humble myself and play a game. But you know what this would actually be nice in? Online poker. Can I get a give up on it? Can I walk away? Can I get my money back? Do I have to put another hand down? No, just kidding. Another one says, since forever, it's just usually been the power button or Alt plus F4, followed by throwing the controller at the console.
That's a good point. A lot of people do just rage quit and pull plug immediately the second that they get any inconvenience in a game.
Yeah, or it's like your little cousin. You just pull the plug out from the TV. Yeah, man. You just gotta give up, man. Time to go. And then the next comment we got here is, "Oh no, user-friendly game design." Yeah, I know, right? You can never get it both ways. And only thing I've seen like that was in GTA 5. So it's been since at least 2013. Oh, you failed a mission 3 times? You want to skip? Sorry, homie, don't play like that. Yeah, I mean that. Who plays story single player games just to skip? That but then again, I know you're a guy that doesn't like to read all the lore in every book. I understand that. I don't usually do that all the time as well, but it's understandable if you want to skip the cutscene because you've already played the game one time and you don't need to see it all over again. But if you're playing it for a first time playthrough, how dare you? Dare you give up? And last, games have had quote-unquote give-up buttons for a while. Back when I played CSGO for a local tournaments for over 10 years ago, there was the option to vote for surrender. Sometimes a match is just lost and you feel like there's no point in dragging it out when you could be playing a different match. So yeah, there's a little bit of people that are going back and forth. This has been around for almost 10 years. So, HenricK, is this a helpful tool, or are we just one step away from the game offering us a juice box and a participation trophy?
Maybe you can call me a little old-fashioned about
okay, you're old-fashioned.
No,
go on.
All right. But I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals recently, and dabbling in competitive.
Bro. How do you say
Marvel
old-fashioned?
Rivals?
Marvel Rivals hasn't even been out for a whole year.
All right, but let me get to my point, Chris.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
So in the competitive mode of that game, you can surrender, but my mentality about this is, no, let's not just give up, because anything could happen. You might just get cracked out of your mind all of a sudden and go on an ace or something, or better yet, you just take that as an opportunity to learn from people who are better at the game than you.
But
you don't really get that opportunity all the time. So that's the perfect opportunity right
I feel-
there when you're
I-
getting your ass handed to you.
And we do see a lot of viral clips online revolving around Marvel Rivals when it comes to pep talk. And what does
Yes.
that sound like from HenricK the Wreck?
A pep talk, all right? You got to get in the game and man up. Go
Oh.
out there. We're going to go to the point right now, okay? We're going to win.
Go to
I
the
don't care
point.
what you say.
Don't hold
No,
back.
we're not surrendering.
Unless you're the Punisher. But yeah, I'm kind of there with you in a little bit of a sense. I know like the give up button in video games comes with its fair shares of perks and pitfalls. On the bright side, it saves time by letting you skip the agony of getting repeatedly stomped out by an overpowered gamer while you're also sparing your controller from that inevitable rage squeeze. I don't know if anybody noticed it. I'm like always squeezing my controller when I'm like getting really ticked off in a multiplayer game. Plus, if you just want to enjoy the story without the hassle, it's basically like an instant VIP pass to the next cutscene. Whether you want to do that or not, I highly don't advise that. But let's be real, HenricK. The downsides are brutal. Your gamer pride, gone. Your friends, they're going to be roasting you in the group chat for eternity, especially if you're going to surrender out. And what about that epic comeback moment? You'll never know, because if you tap out before the greatness could happen, at this point, you might as well hop on Twitch and let someone else do the heavy lifting. I mean, why? Why would you even do that? And if the developers get too comfortable with the feature, what's next? I mean, maybe try something else. Maybe take a nap, champ. Notification. If that's where we're headed, maybe it's time to tough it out and hit the retry button.
Maybe that'll be what the Copilot will do. Copilot for gaming. Be like, hey, I see you've lost your last 5 matches in Marvel Rivals. You want to take a break?
Yeah, you
want
want
to
to
go
take
play
a nap?
Minecraft?
Yeah, you want us to put the console on a sleep mode for 10 minutes and then we'll beep it on when you're ready? But hey, do you guys like the give up feature? Do you think it's a bit too much in a lot of games and developers are kind of getting a little bit lazy? Or, that's only speaking on the single player route. But in multiplayer, do you hate it when it's like one person shuts the whole match down just because they're a dingleberry and they suck at what they're supposed to do for the squad? Let us know what's good. But man, HenricK the Wreck and I, we had such a blast with all the gamers out there around the world tuning into Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. We just want to take a moment again to highlight our QR code. So this one's mine. This will take you to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit the like, share, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show.
Yes, and bask in the glory of my QR code that goes to my YouTube channel. There's tons of awesome content there just waiting to be watched. So go check it out. Drop me a comment and I'll read them. So what are you waiting for?
Yeah, that's what's up. And so thank you again, gamers. We always love all the energy that you guys bring to us on a weekly basis. So enjoy the weekend. Have some fun. I know some of you young lads are going closer to the spring break, so be safe. Have some fun. Drink lots of water if you're trying to do your thing, partying it out. And we will see you in the near future, fam. Peace.
See ya.